What if the love you've been searching for has been quietly waiting within you all along? What if true strength isn't found in how much you give to others, but in how deeply you care for yourself? And what if the most powerful act of courage is simply choosing to be on your own side, no matter what? We spend so much of our lives learning how to care for others, how to love deeply, give freely, and support those around us. But how often do we stop and truly ask, have I ever loved myself enough? That question, simple as it sounds, carries a weight we often ignore. Loving yourself isn't about being selfish or shutting the world out. It's about showing up for yourself, with the same compassion and effort you so freely give to others. It's not indulgence, it's restoration. A quiet but fierce gift that allows you to live fully, stand tall, and weather life's storms with unshakable resolve. All too often, we seek approval from others, believing their validation will complete us. We forget that the deepest strength has always been within us, patient, steady, and waiting to be recognized. According to Stoic philosophy, the key to inner peace isn't found in controlling the outside world. It's in understanding and mastering yourself. When you know who you are, when your mind is anchored and your values are clear, no storm can truly shake you. So listen closely. Your heart isn't just a beating organ. It's your compass, your lighthouse, quietly guiding you toward resilience, peace, and self-respect. The path to self-love may not always be smooth, but it is sacred. And it is worth walking. What I'm about to share with you isn't motivational fluff. These are hard-earned lessons, grounded in ancient Stoic wisdom. Each insight is a spark, capable of igniting new clarity, awakening courage, and transforming how you treat yourself. So take a deep breath. Stay present. Because this may be the moment your transformation begins. Let's start with the first and most essential lesson. Number 1, prioritize yourself without apology. Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of everyone else's world, while quietly neglecting your own? Maybe you've been so focused on meeting expectations, supporting others, or keeping everything together, that you forgot to ask yourself, what do I need? Am I okay? This isn't selfishness. It's survival. It's a reminder that you can't pour love, energy, or attention into others when your own well has run dry. Self-love, in the Stoic view, isn't a momentary action, it's a daily practice. A way of life. When you choose to prioritize yourself, you take back control of your most valuable resource, your mind. Your will. Your clarity. But here's the paradox, many people feel guilty when they put themselves first. As if by saying yes to their needs, they're somehow saying no to others. The truth is quite the opposite. Imagine life as a garden. You are the central tree. Strong, tall, rooted. Your presence nourishes others. You offer shade, stability, and protection. But if your own roots are dry, if you're not receiving enough sunlight, enough nourishment, how can you possibly give? Prioritizing yourself is tending to your own roots. It's making sure that you have what you need in order to keep giving, growing, and standing tall. And this is only the beginning. Let's move on to the next powerful truth. When you choose to prioritize yourself, just as we discussed earlier, something remarkable happens, your strength becomes contagious. Your well-being doesn't just lift you, it begins to quietly elevate those around you too. But in today's fast-paced, people-pleasing world, there's a common trap we fall into. Confusing kindness with endless self-sacrifice. Have you ever noticed how, sometimes, giving too much of yourself doesn't make anyone happier? Not you. Not them. Instead, it builds a quiet tension, an unspoken weight, leaving everyone feeling stretched too thin, emotionally tired, and quietly disappointed. Think of yourself as a candle. You burn brightly for others, casting light into dark spaces. But if you never stop to replenish, your flame eventually dies out. Yes, you may have illuminated others for a moment, but at the cost of your own essence. Stoicism invites us to break this pattern. So what can you do instead? Start by placing your own well-being at the center, without guilt, without apology. And one of the simplest, most powerful ways to begin is to clarify your true priorities. Ask yourself, what genuinely matters to me? What brings me peace, meaning, and strength? Take a few minutes each day to pause and check in with your inner world. Listen carefully to your emotions. Are you tired, inspired, overwhelmed, content? Your heart is quietly speaking, are you listening? When you tune in, you'll start to see patterns. You'll notice what truly fills you up and what slowly empties your spirit. With this awareness, you can begin to redirect your energy, not toward everyone else's expectations, but toward your own values. And sometimes, that means saying no. No to obligations that drain you. No to people pleasing at the expense of your peace. No to the belief that your worth is measured by your ability to always say yes. This doesn't mean you've stopped caring. Quite the opposite. It means you're teaching others, through action, to honor your boundaries. Picture a mountain climber ascending a steep path. They can't carry everything. If they tried, they'd never reach the top. They must let go of what weighs them down and take only what's essential. Your journey is no different. Let go of what no longer serves you. In that space, plant small but deeply nourishing habits of self-care. They don't need to be elaborate or dramatic. Sometimes, all it takes is 10 quiet minutes with a warm cup of tea. A walk beneath the trees. A deep breath before bed. Or simply turning off your phone to protect your peace. Even people like Albert Einstein, brilliant and constantly busy, carved out time to nurture his joy. Whether it was playing the violin or walking alone in nature, he knew that feeding the soul was never wasted time. So remember this, choosing to love yourself is not selfish. It's one of the most courageous decisions you can make. It's like placing your own oxygen mask first, not so you can escape, but so you can truly support those who count on you. The world doesn't need your exhaustion. It needs your presence. Your light. Your wholeness. And as we continue this journey, let's go even deeper into the core of Stoic wisdom. Uncovering how to protect your peace, master your emotions, and build a foundation no chaos can shake. So far, we've seen that caring for yourself is not indulgence, it's the root of true strength. And now, it's time to act on that awareness. Starting today, give yourself permission to prioritize yourself without apology. Not tomorrow. Not when you're less busy. Right now. Pause and ask yourself, what can I do today to love myself just a little more? Maybe it's resting when you're tired. Saying no to one thing that drains you. Or simply offering yourself a kind word instead of harsh self-talk. Whatever it is, do it. Don't wait for someone else to offer you the love you deserve. Don't postpone your own healing. This life is yours alone. And learning to love yourself is the most transformative gift you'll ever give, not just to yourself, but to the world. As Epictetus once wisely said, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Let this be your call to action. The moment you stop waiting and start choosing you. Number 2, break free from the chains of external validation. How do you measure your worth? Is it the approval in someone's eyes? The recognition you receive at work? The flood of likes and hearts on your latest post? If so, you're not alone. We've been conditioned to chase these signals, to believe that our value is something others decide for us. But here's the paradox, the more we depend on others to affirm us, the more hollow we feel inside. External praise is fleeting. And when it disappears, so often does our sense of self. True joy, real self-worth, it doesn't come from the outside in. It must be cultivated from within. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Isn't that painfully accurate? In moments of doubt or vulnerability, we often hand over the keys to our identity, letting the world define us. But this comes at a steep cost. We shrink. We second-guess. We become prisoners to praise and paralyzed by criticism. So let me offer you a different image. Imagine you are a river, flowing gently, steadily, through valleys and wild open fields. If your waters are sourced from deep, internal springs like self-respect and inner truth, then no matter the storms above, you remain full and unshaken. But if you rely only on passing rain, those occasional compliments, social media likes, or fleeting applause, what happens when the skies dry up? You begin to vanish. This is what happens when we depend too heavily on outside approval. We become fragile, reactive, unstable. And just like rain, validation from others is unpredictable. You can't rely on it to sustain the depth of your being. Freedom begins the moment you decide to break these invisible chains. Ask yourself, why do I need someone else to tell me I'm enough, before I believe it myself? The answer isn't found in proving yourself louder or working harder to be seen. It lies in building a relationship with yourself, one that is rooted in self-acceptance, not external judgment. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant or selfish. It means loving yourself enough to remain grounded, even when others misunderstand you. To stay centered, even when applause fades. To be your own source of peace, no matter the noise around you. And once you reclaim that power, something shifts. Coming up next, we'll dive deeper into how this self-anchored mindset leads to emotional clarity, and why mastering your emotions is one of the most stoic and powerful things you can do. As we explored earlier, relying on others for validation can quietly erode your sense of self. Now, let's take it a step further. By learning how to reclaim your own authority over your worth. Epictetus put it beautifully. If you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, be your own. These words are not just philosophical, they're a personal challenge. A reminder that the most honest validation comes from within. To practice this wisdom, begin by acknowledging your core values and your inherent worth. You don't have to be flawless to be lovable. You don't need everyone's applause to be valuable. Your worth is not a currency that fluctuates based on public opinion. A powerful real-world example of this principle, in action, is Eleanor Roosevelt. Throughout her time as First Lady of the United States, she was criticized, mocked, and often misunderstood. But instead of bending to others' opinions, she anchored herself in her principles. She devoted her life to fighting for human rights, even in the face of scorn. Her words continue to echo across generations. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. That single sentence captures the essence of internal freedom, the ability to define yourself from the inside out, untouched by the projections of others. So how can you begin unshackling yourself from the grip of external approval? Here are 3 practical steps you can start today. 1. Reflect daily. Every evening, write down 3 things you're proud of. They don't have to be grand. It could be that you stood up for yourself. That you showed up on a hard day. That you spoke kindly to someone, or to yourself. 2. Detach from outcomes, focus on effort rather than results. Your value doesn't rise and fall with wins or failures. Success is temporary. But integrity? That's lasting. 3. Reconnect within, use meditation, journaling, or even quiet walks to silence the noise of the outside world. These moments of stillness help you tune into your truth and recognize that you've always been enough. Think of self-love as a delicate seed. Each day, it needs sunlight in the form of patience, and water in the form of compassion. Over time, that seed grows into something strong, unshakable. As you nurture it, you begin to see that external love is not the only light that can warm you. That light? It has been inside you all along, waiting to be ignited. So walk forward with your head high. Know that your existence is not up for debate. Your worth doesn't need anyone's permission. You are not just enough, you are rare, valuable, and whole. Now is the moment to act. Because only you can write your story. Only you can define your identity. Do it not just because you deserve it, but because the world needs the most authentic version of you, the one who no longer bends for approval but stands rooted in truth. And if you're ready to embrace this journey fully, write it in the comments below. I am enough. Let those 3 words become your inner anthem. A torch that guides you forward towards self-acceptance and deep, grounded confidence. Because this is the turning point. And now, we continue with the next essential step, in protecting that inner light. Setting boundaries to protect your peace. As we continue this journey of self-love, we now arrive at a truth that is often misunderstood: setting boundaries is not selfish. In fact, it's the highest form of self-respect. Boundaries are how you protect your inner peace, the most precious gift you can offer to yourself. And yet, here lies one of life's strangest paradoxes. In our modern world, many of us find it easier to say yes to others than to say yes to ourselves. We overextend, overcommit, and overgive, thinking that our worth is measured by how much we can endure. We pour ourselves into relationships, into our work, into obligations that demand more than we can reasonably give. And all the while, that small voice inside asks quietly, am I doing enough? But how often do we stop and ask, is this even necessary for my peace? This constant flood of external demands becomes like a torrent of rain, washing away the fragile branches of our inner calm. Slowly, the delicate ecosystem within us begins to erode. But here's where Stoic wisdom comes in to ground us. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That one sentence contains a quiet revolution. No, we cannot control the world around us. But we can draw boundaries. We can protect our minds. Like a river that needs strong banks to guide its current, or a garden that needs a wall to shield its tender blossoms, you too need protection for what is sacred inside you. Imagine a garden with no fences, no care, no intention. A single storm could tear through it. The weeds would creep in. The colors would fade. Your inner life, your mental space, is no different. Without boundaries, it becomes overrun by others' expectations, by guilt, by the relentless demands of a world that never stops asking for more. So, how do you begin to set boundaries without guilt? Start by tuning inward. Ask yourself, what drains me? Who or what is quietly robbing me of peace? What am I allowing that goes against my values, my energy, or my emotional well-being? It takes courage to face those answers. It takes even more courage to act on them. But remember this. Saying no doesn't make you unkind. It simply means you are finally saying yes to yourself. Yes to your health. Yes to your sanity. Yes to your vision of a meaningful life. And yes, some people may not understand. Some may call it selfish. But let me ask you, what's the greater loss, disappointing others briefly, or abandoning yourself continuously? Look at the life of Marie Curie. A woman of intellect and deep focus. She lived in a time when society tried to confine women to narrow roles. Yet she chose differently. She refused to let others dictate her priorities. She faced criticism. Resistance. But she held firm. Because she honored her boundaries, she made breakthroughs that changed the world. Her story isn't just about science, it's about discipline, self-trust, and the power of a woman who chose to protect her purpose. And so should you. Set boundaries not to build walls, but to create space, space for your growth, for your healing, for your brilliance to unfold. In the next chapter, we'll explore how embracing solitude, not loneliness, can further fortify your peace, and why the quietest moments often reveal the most profound truths about who you are. Now that we've uncovered the importance of setting boundaries, let's talk about putting that wisdom into motion, because knowing is not enough. Self-love is not a passive emotion. It is a consistent, courageous action. Start small. Say no when your plate is full and your mind is tired. Say no without guilt, and with grace. Carve out time each day, just for you. Whether that means sitting in stillness for 5 minutes, writing your thoughts in a journal, or simply lying down and allowing yourself to rest without justification. When someone crosses a line, don't stay silent. Calmly, clearly, and respectfully, speak up. You're not starting a war, you're planting a flag. You're declaring your right to peace. And something beautiful happens when you do this consistently. Not only do you feel lighter and freer, others begin to treat you differently. They learn how to meet you at the level of respect you've chosen to show yourself. Because boundaries don't push people away. They filter in the right ones. And always remember this, self-love is not just how you feel about yourself, it's how you show up for yourself. It's the structure you build around your life to keep what's sacred protected. Think of it like the sunrise. Each morning, it rises again, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. In the same way, each day you must rise with the intention, I deserve peace. I deserve joy. I deserve to grow into the best version of myself. So don't wait. Start building those fences, the kind that protect your inner garden. And as you do, something begins to bloom. Slowly. Quietly. But beautifully. And yes, as you lay the first posts of your boundaries, discomfort may appear. Like brushing past thorns while tending to soft rose petals, it may sting a little. Some people might resist the new you. You may even question yourself. But don't turn back. Because that discomfort, it's not your enemy. It's part of the process. It's within those uneasy moments that you begin to feel something shift. That's where the growth happens. That's when change reveals its true value, not in comfort, but in clarity. So let's keep moving forward. Let's look even deeper. Because sometimes, discomfort isn't a warning. It's an invitation. Number 4, embrace discomfort as a path to growth. Have you ever noticed how pain and discomfort seem to follow us on every meaningful journey? Almost like shadows we never invited, but can't ignore. But here's the truth. Maybe they're not following you to torment you. Maybe they're guiding you. Pause for a moment. Look inward. Could it be that these moments of unease are trying to wake you up? Trying to lead you toward deeper self-awareness, more authentic strength, and fuller self-love? Epictetus once observed, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. What if the discomfort you feel isn't something to fear, but something to work with? Life isn't meant to be a straight, effortless path. It's full of resistance, emotional, physical, spiritual. But that resistance isn't there to block you. It's there to build you. Pain. Setbacks. Awkward conversations. Failures. These are the chisels that shape us into someone stronger. Just like a seed must crack its shell to bloom, so must we break free from our comfort zones to grow into our fullest selves. Up next, we'll explore how facing pain with courage, and not avoidance, can forge resilience deeper than you ever imagined. We often speak of growth as a beautiful thing, something we all desire. But here's the truth most people avoid. Growth is born in discomfort. Avoiding discomfort is like sealing yourself in a dark room, where light cannot enter, and dreams quietly wither before they ever have a chance to breathe. If you want to understand this truth, look no further than a diamond. At first, it's nothing more than a piece of rough, unremarkable carbon. But over millions of years, under intense pressure and heat, that carbon transforms into something breathtaking, a symbol of clarity, strength, and brilliance. Your life is no different. The work stress. The failed relationships. The fear of facing your own reflection. These aren't punishments, they're part of the process. They are the pressure that forms your diamond. But here's the irony. We often run from discomfort. We seek shortcuts. We cling to comfort like a blanket that slowly suffocates us. We ignore the hard conversations, avoid the tough truths, and delay action hoping things will feel easier someday. It's a quiet tragedy. Because just like the body grows stronger through physical resistance, your mind and spirit grow through mental resilience. But when indulged too much, the mind softens. It loses its edge. It forgets its power. Look at Thomas Edison. He failed, not once, not twice, but over 1,000 times in his quest to invent the light bulb. But he didn't run from discomfort. He leaned into it. Each failure, each spark that didn't light, was a lesson. A stepping stone. A new direction forward. That mindset changed the world. You don't have to invent a light bulb to apply the same principle. In your daily life, every difficulty is not a dead end, it's a doorway. Every uncomfortable moment is not punishment, it's preparation. Choosing discomfort doesn't mean choosing suffering. It means stepping out of your comfort zone with intention. It means accepting that life is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes painful, but loving yourself anyway. It means making room for failure. For learning. For being human. Picture every choice to face discomfort as planting a seed. That seed won't grow in a cozy greenhouse of convenience. It needs the wind, the storms, the droughts. It needs to struggle, to push through hard soil, before it can rise into a mighty, grounded tree. So how can you bring this into your own life? Start small. If there's a hard conversation you've been avoiding, take a breath, and begin it. If fear is stopping you from trying something new, pause and recognize that fear means you're on the edge of growth. That's not the time to retreat, it's the moment to step in. And when uncomfortable emotions rise, don't run. Welcome them. Ask, what is this feeling here to teach me? Let discomfort become your mentor, not your enemy. This is what it means to love yourself deeply. Not when things are easy, but especially when they're hard. Not when you feel perfect, but when you feel messy, uncertain, and human. Self-love is not a destination. It's a lifelong path. And the terrain of that path? It will often be uneven, steep, and uncomfortable. But walk it anyway. Because as you learn to face discomfort with courage, you'll grow stronger. And as you grow stronger, you'll finally discover what it really means to love yourself, fully, honestly, and without conditions. Let's now take the next step, how building emotional discipline can sharpen your mind, deepen your focus, and help you become unshakable no matter what chaos surrounds you. The kind of love we're talking about here isn't indulgent. It's not about pampering yourself or escaping the hard stuff. It's about showing up, even in the struggle. It's about persistence. Growth. Becoming the strongest, most grounded version of yourself because of life's hardest moments, not in spite of them. So here's your invitation. Take action today. Try something that makes you uncomfortable. Have the tough conversation. Sit in silence with your thoughts. Step into something new. And then, pause. Notice something. You didn't break. You're stronger than you ever imagined. Every small step you take through discomfort is a giant leap forward in your journey toward real, unshakable self-love. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Start now. Because you deserve a life built on strength, clarity, and self-respect. A life rooted in love, not just from others, but from within. And it begins by embracing yourself, especially in the hardest moments. And now, congratulations. You've reached the midpoint of this journey. That alone says something powerful about you. You are committed. You're investing in yourself. You're no longer willing to ignore your own well-being. That's rare. That's courageous. But don't stop here. Each part of this video isn't just content, it's a piece of a much larger puzzle. And when all the pieces come together, they form something transformative. A complete mindset and method for deep, lasting self-love. So keep watching. Stay with me until the end, because you are worth it. Number 5, practice self-love in the small, daily moments. Often, when we hear self-love, we imagine something distant or dramatic. A breakthrough. A retreat. A life overhaul. But the truth is, real self-love lives in the quiet, ordinary parts of your day. One of the most profound teachings of Stoicism is that meaning is not found in grand events, it's found in how you live each moment. The way you breathe. The way you respond. The way you speak to yourself in silence. The Stoics didn't chase glory or praise. They focused on what they could control, their mindset, their actions, their daily habits. And in doing so, they found peace, not in victory, but in presence. But here's where modern life can lead us astray. We move so fast. We push. We strive. We measure our worth in productivity and performance. And in that relentless pace, we forget ourselves. We treat our bodies like machines. Our minds like to-do lists. And our souls. They often get ignored entirely. But you are not a machine. You are a living being, a soul in need of care, patience, and compassion. So start small. Each word you speak to yourself. Each breath you take with intention. Each time you slow down just to feel the sun on your face. That's self-love. That's healing. Even the act of sipping a cool glass of water, taking 3 deep breaths, or pausing for just one mindful moment in the morning light. These tiny acts are not trivial. They are sacred. Begin your day with a whisper to yourself. Today, I will treat myself with kindness. Not as a lofty goal, but as a truth. A habit. A new standard. Because in the small things, we build big peace. Coming up next, we'll explore how replacing self-criticism with self-compassion transforms not only your inner world, but the way the world responds to you. Stoicism reminds us to focus on what is truly within our control. And often, it's not the big, life-altering events, it's the small, consistent habits that shape us. Those little daily choices, the way you speak to yourself, the way you pause to breathe, the way you gently redirect your thoughts, these are the bricks that quietly build the foundation of genuine self-love. But self-love isn't only about adding more positivity into your life. Sometimes, it's about having the courage to remove what no longer serves you. There are people, places, habits, even thoughts that, while once familiar, have become heavy burdens. They drain your energy. They make you doubt yourself. They turn your inner peace into quiet chaos. To truly love yourself, you must have the bravery to let go, even when it hurts. Even when it means walking away from something that once felt safe. As the Stoics teach us, peace doesn't come from pleasing everyone or avoiding discomfort. It comes from staying true to your values. From protecting your emotional space like a sacred fire. When you say no to what harms you, you are not being harsh. You are making room, for clarity, for serenity, for your true self to breathe again. One of the greatest threats to self-love in today's world is something almost invisible: comparison. With every scroll, every highlight reel, we're tempted to believe that someone else is doing it better, faster, more beautifully than we are. And in that comparison, we begin to feel less than, like our own lives aren't measuring up. But Stoicism teaches a different way. It reminds us that every soul walks a unique path. Your timeline is not theirs. Your purpose is not theirs. Your value is not tied to outrunning someone else. Think of a river. Does it envy the mountain? No. It flows at its own pace, carving a path that's quiet and steady, and entirely its own. In the same way, you don't need to mimic or chase anyone else's version of success. Look inward. Honor your path. Every small step you take is still forward motion. Every gentle choice you make for your own well-being is sacred. Self-love is not a luxury. It's not expensive. It's not grand. It's as simple as preparing a nourishing meal. As quiet as sitting down with your favorite book. As powerful as giving yourself permission to rest, without guilt. The Stoics knew that real happiness isn't found in extravagance, it's in balance. In harmony between action and stillness, effort and ease. You don't have to get it all right. You don't have to be perfect. What you do need is to embrace yourself fully, flaws and all. Self-love is not some far-off destination. It's a daily relationship. A quiet companionship with yourself. Each moment of kindness. Each act of presence. Each decision to treat yourself with respect builds a deeper, more resilient you. So why not begin now? Take a breath. Choose one small thing you can do today to love yourself more. That's all it takes. As the Stoics beautifully remind us. Life isn't measured by how long we live, but by how deeply we live each day. Let today be a beginning. Let every moment of self-care be a step towards something real, something lasting. And yet, there's still one essential lesson to explore. Because true self-love isn't just about giving, it's about knowing when to pause. True strength is not found in constant motion, but in learning to balance effort with stillness. In our next lesson, we're going to redefine what it truly means to be strong. Not as a burden to carry. Not as a race to win. But as a harmony, a delicate, powerful alignment between your heart, your mind, and your body. Because real strength isn't about how much you can endure. It's about how well you can stay grounded while you move forward. Balance is what keeps you from losing yourself on the journey. Number 6, redefine strength as balance, not overwork. There will be days when the world whispers, do more. Work harder. Prove yourself. And maybe you'll feel tempted to listen. But stop for a moment and ask. Is this truly necessary, or am I just trying to cover up a sense of emptiness inside? Stoicism, in its timeless clarity, offers a different kind of wisdom. True strength doesn't come from grinding yourself into the ground. It comes from understanding your limits, honoring your needs, and knowing when to rest. In modern life, we're swept into a storm of overachievement. We celebrate stories of entrepreneurs working 16-hour days, employees skipping meals to meet deadlines, and artists losing sleep in the name of perfection. These narratives teach us that greatness demands sacrifice at all costs. But here's the hidden truth. No success is sustainable if it costs your well-being. Imagine a mighty tree standing in the middle of an ancient forest. It doesn't reach towering heights overnight. It grows slowly, year by year, deepening its roots, drawing nutrients, adapting to every storm. Its strength isn't in speed, but in stability. Your life is the same. If you're constantly pushing without pause, never stopping to rest, breathe, or reflect, you'll eventually find yourself worn down, swept away by exhaustion and pressure. Real strength lies in discernment. In knowing when to pause. In giving your spirit the nourishment it needs. In asking yourself, am I truly walking the right path, or just running out of fear? Stoic philosophy teaches us that balance is not a luxury. It is essential to self-love. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Not less in meaning, but less of what doesn't matter. Do what is essential. Do it well. And let the rest fall away." Because inner peace isn't about having more time. It's about using your time with intention, on the things that truly align with your values. Too often, our days are filled with busyness. Tasks that keep us moving but don't take us anywhere meaningful. We end up exhausted but unfulfilled. So here's the challenge. Instead of asking, how much can I do today? Ask, what truly matters? And give your energy to that. A brilliant example of this balanced approach is Leonardo da Vinci. He wasn't just a master artist or inventor, he was a master of harmony. He knew that sustainable creativity required more than constant output. It required rest, reflection, and moments of stillness. He observed nature. He allowed ideas to breathe. He gave himself space. And in that space, genius flourished. So let go of the myth that doing more makes you more valuable. What makes you valuable is your ability to stay grounded while creating, to stay peaceful while striving, to live deeply rather than merely productively. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore how building emotional discipline, without suppressing your feelings, can help you stay calm in chaos and live with deeper clarity. In today's fast-moving world, it's all too easy to lose yourself. Society pulls us in every direction, chasing approval, measuring ourselves against others, trying to meet expectations that were never ours to begin with. And in the noise of all that striving, the quiet inner voice, that compass within, is often drowned out. There's a painful paradox in modern life. We spend years trying to understand others, to meet their needs, to earn their validation. Yet many of us never take the time to understand ourselves. To listen. To ask, what do I truly need? Picture a river. When its surface is still, you can see all the way to the bottom, clear, deep, true. But when it's stirred, when the wind whips it into waves, the clarity disappears. It becomes murky, chaotic. The human mind is no different. Self-awareness can only arise when we learn to still the internal turbulence. To quiet the noise of the outside world. To truly, patiently, listen to ourselves. Marcus Aurelius said it best. Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. If you don't take the time to know yourself, who will? One of the greatest obstacles to self-love is how harshly we judge ourselves. Far more critically than we would ever judge a friend. We offer grace to others, yet deny it to ourselves. But think about it. Just as a seed cannot grow in dry, barren soil, you cannot thrive in a mind that offers only criticism and no compassion. Self-awareness isn't about hunting for flaws. It's about discovering potential. It's about becoming your own most honest, most loving companion. So how do you begin this process? Make it a practice. Make it real. One of the most powerful tools is daily journaling, something Marcus Aurelius did himself. His book Meditations wasn't written to impress others. It was a private dialogue. A daily effort to understand himself more clearly. Writing gives you space to step back and observe your thoughts without judgment. It helps you see patterns. It helps you notice where you're thriving and where you're hurting. Each day, take 10 minutes to ask. What did I do well today? What can I improve? How am I really feeling right now? These aren't just questions. They are keys, opening the door to deeper understanding. One remarkable example of this practice, in action, comes from Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist. He believed that to live fully, we must confront our shadow, the hidden, uncomfortable parts of ourselves we often try to avoid. But those shadows are not enemies. They're messengers. When we face our fear, our anger, our insecurities, we don't weaken. We awaken. We begin to understand our unmet needs. We begin to shape the person we're truly meant to become, not by avoiding pain, but by learning from it. So ask yourself this. Why am I so much harder on myself than I am on others? If you can comfort a friend in their darkest moment, why can't you extend that same kindness inward? You deserve it. Forgive yourself. Encourage yourself. And remember, self-awareness is a tool for building, not breaking down. It's the foundation of lasting growth, not a magnifying glass for self-doubt. Because in the end, the bird does not fear the branch breaking. It trusts its wings. And so should you. In the next lesson, we'll explore how to develop emotional discipline, not by repressing your feelings, but by guiding them with wisdom, so that your inner world becomes your strongest foundation. And just like that bird that trusts its wings, trust yourself. Trust that you have the strength to overcome anything, if you're willing to understand who you truly are. Because when sharpened through practice, self-awareness becomes a superpower. It gives you clarity when life feels chaotic. It helps you make wiser decisions, not from fear or pressure, but from alignment with your values. When you know what you want. When you know what you need. When you know what you stand for. You stop chasing external validation. You stop molding yourself to fit other people's expectations. You become the center of your own life. And in that space, you are free. This is the true heart of self-love. Not perfection. Not performance. But acceptance. To love yourself is to stand before the mirror of your soul and say, yes, I see the flaws. I see the pain. I see the strength. And I accept it all. Let self-awareness be your guide. Let it lead you gently, day by day, toward a deeper love for who you are and who you are becoming. Because in the end, you are the one person who will walk this entire journey with yourself. So live in a way that when you pause, whether in joy or in hardship, you can look inward and whisper, I'm proud of who I am. We've just walked through 7 powerful Stoic principles, each one a step toward loving yourself more fully and living more freely. These aren't just ideas to remember. They are tools to live by. Tools that will help you weather life's storms with calm. That will bring you closer to peace, to purpose, and to the quiet joy of knowing you are enough. Because self-love isn't selfish. It is the greatest gift you can offer, to yourself, and to everyone around you. So every day, remind yourself. You are worthy of that love. You are capable. You are growing. You are enough. And the more you cherish who you are, the more strength you'll discover within, to face whatever life sends your way. So keep moving forward. Keep choosing yourself. And never hesitate to treat yourself with the same kindness, grace, and patience you so freely offer others. If this video resonated with you, even a little, now is the perfect time to click like. A small gesture that means more than you know, and helps us continue sharing meaningful content. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below, share your story, your reflections, or just one small thing you're doing to love yourself more. And if someone in your life needs to hear this message, share this video with them. You never know how a single message can plant a seed of healing. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe to join this growing community. Together, we'll keep exploring timeless wisdom, practical growth, and the quiet power of becoming our best selves, one step at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for you. Your journey to self-love begins today.